What's good, guys? Welcome to another video, and as you can see from the title of this video today, we're going to be talking about what's going to happen when you bust too many nuts. What we're seeing in society these days is that men are becoming weaker and weaker and weaker, and there's a big correlation with the amount of sexual content we're able to consume, the amount of nuts we're busting on a week-to-week basis, and a correlation of the rise of weak men. A lot of us are becoming weak, and we have forgotten how strong we can actually be as men. So in this video, I want to explain you exactly what's going to happen to you when you bust too many nuts. We're just going to hop straight into it, guys. So as you can see, we have a whiteboard here, and here are all the things that are going to be happening to you. First thing, guys, that's going to be happening is that when you've busted a nut, your prolactin is going to increase. Your prolactin is a hormone that makes you feel lazy, and actually this hormone also increases when women have to make milk, right? When a woman has to produce milk because she has a child, that is the same hormone. You constantly increase when you're busting all these nuts. So it's going to make you very lazy, it's going to make you unmotivated, tired, and you feel very relaxed. You're not turned on anymore, you're not horny, you're just we all know that feeling, right? It's the release, it's the emptiness, and actually it can be a great feeling, but once again, as you can see, there's a danger in doing this too often. So if you do this several times a week, you're constantly in this state of increased prolactin, and it's just, as you can see, very hard to move forward like that when you constantly have this high prolactin. So the second one, and the second realization to make, right, is that 1 drop of semen equals 40 drops of blood. I repeat, 1 drop of semen equals 40 drops of blood. Now that is a lot of freaking blood, and next to that there are a lot of nutrients you're losing as well. So guess what's happening when you do this several times a week? You are constantly in a state of recovery. Your body doesn't have the energy to, let's say, enhance your brain, enhance your body. And guess what all the benefits are of semen retention? Exactly those things. You simply start to feel as if your mind is sharp, you can think better, you can take on more, you feel stronger in the gym, you have more output, you recover faster. And this is one of the byproducts, guys. So for anyone, I think everyone has done this, they get like, I don't know the word now, but it's like they get the blood out of you, right? Some type of shit, right? You always feel weak afterwards. So when that happens, I always, right, when that happened to me, people taking blood from me, I don't know the word, but anyway, you feel weaker for a few hours. Guess why? Your body is creating new blood. So this is a crazy realization. And this for me is just absolutely mind-blowing. 1 drop of freaking semen is 40 drops of blood. Please realize this. There's so many nutrients in that, and your semen is extremely valuable. And once you start to see that, and it's just crazy to me, so many men, or just culture in general, is not seeing this whatsoever. We're just willing to waste it away again and again, and we wonder why we feel like shit. We wonder why we are not able to push forwards, right? It's one of these reasons. So the next one is that you will feel a decrease in your motivation and drive. You're not going to have the motivation and you're not going to have the drive to push forward when things get hard. You as a man need to be able to push forward when things get hard. If you don't do this, you're going to become a weak man. It's actually extremely, and I repeat, extremely enjoyable to push through something even though it's very difficult. Being able to push through some barriers you set out for yourself. You might think, okay, it's very hard to achieve this goal. Maybe you want to build your dream body. Right, you need to go through some discomfort for that. If you're constantly releasing, you're throwing away your energy, it's going to be extremely difficult. It's still possible, but it's just going to make it so much more difficult to get your ass into the gym, for an example, and to push the weight and to actually do the work required to achieve a specific goal. So the next one is going to be, and honestly, when I wrote this down, I thought about 2 different meanings. So first of all, what's going to happen is that you are going to be feeling weak and you're going to be feeling like a pussy. That's simply what's going to happen. If you do this too often, you're going to feel like an absolute pussy. And you're going to feel like a failure and you're going to be feeling weak. No wonder you're throwing away your energy constantly. But another thing, when I wrote this down, I realized, well, this is true as well. You're going to become weak for the pussy. What do I mean with this? You're so much more likely to put a woman on a pedestal if you're still hooked to constantly releasing several times a week, especially with your hands. If you need some extra help with this, I do have a few coaching spots available, so you can book a free call in the description link. Also, you can download my free guides, your free guides, right, on how to reach your first 30 days of semen retention completely free. You can check it out as well in the link in the description. What's going to be happening is that when you see a woman, your brain will automatically think she's of higher status, because subconsciously, if you constantly do this in your mind, and you're not even in control, this right here has control over you. You don't have the control. So what's going to happen every time you speak to a woman? You get anxious, you feel insecure, you feel like shit, you feel unworthy. Of course you do. Of course you freaking do. Because you're telling your mind that's what's going on. So that's something truly crucial to realize. So there are two meanings in this. Once again, right? You're going to be feeling weak and you're going to be feeling like a pussy. And you're going to become weak for the pussy. Right? Something to truly realize. So the next one is going to be, you're going to feel a decrease in your masculine energy. I would argue that a lot of men don't even know what it feels like to truly tap into their own masculinity. Especially now, it's like there are more weak men than ever, and it's just the rise of weak men. And guess what? It goes hand in hand with the increase in sexual content online. More and more men start to become and just get attached to all this sexual content they see online. Many men don't even know what it feels like to feel their true masculine energy within themselves. It's the energy that wants to build, that wants to hunt, that wants to achieve goals, that wants to push forward, that doesn't have time to think about this more woman type of stuff, like relationships and all these things. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's beautiful. But I think the dynamic should be as follows. The man is following his purpose and the woman is following the man. The woman romanticizes about relationships and the man, right, they are focused on their purpose. They are focused on their mission. They are focused on crushing their goals. This is why women love romance stories. This is why women love drama and like novels and stuff. This is why men love action movies, right? But if you're a man and you're only watching the action movies, you're just simply too weak to do it in the outer world. Doesn't mean you can never watch the action movies, but a lot of men hide behind a screen, right? So they play video games or they watch a lot of action movies because they're not able to push forward in real life. So they just watch someone else do it, right? And that's way more likely to happen when your masculine energy is decreased, right? It's low. You don't have much of it because you're constantly wasting it away. Next one is going to be physical fatigue. This is linked to losing blood, right? What's going to happen if you constantly do this? It has a huge, it's very taxing to your nervous system, right? So your body, once again, constantly has to recover. It's more tired. You will feel more tired, not just mentally, but also actually physically. You won't recover as quickly. This is what I've realized as well, guys. I recover a lot quicker in the gym. I'm able to handle a lot more volume physically on my body. My body is able to handle so much more. It just recovers so much quicker. I need less sleep. I'm up so much quicker. I just get up and I go. Because I'm full of that vitality. Or once you build this up within yourself as well, you're full of that vitality, full of that sexual energy. So the next one, and I think many of us are very familiar with this, is going to be brain fog. When you constantly do this, you're not you're not sharp. You don't have the ability to truly hone in on a goal, get sharp on steps you need to take in order to reach that goal, or just overall having a sense of mental clarity, just even understanding what's going on. When you're constantly releasing your energy, your perception of reality becomes and will stay very small. What I've seen in my own journey, guys, when I hop on long-term semen retention streaks, is that the longer I stay on a streak, the more my perception is able to expand. The way I see reality is able to go way beyond what I thought was possible. And this is one of the ways, because you no longer have brain fog. And this is what will happen, right? Brain fog, you constantly stay in this small little bubble, your own mind. And a lot of times you don't even realize you have brain fog because you don't even know any other way. Right, so the next thing that's going to be happening, guys, is that your attraction, specifically for the opposite sex, is going to be decreasing. And I've experienced this firsthand again and again and again. So what's going to be happening, guys, is when you stop busting nuts, so when you hop on semen retention, what's going to be happening is that automatically you're telling your brain, after a while, this is going to take some time, to no longer put a woman on a pedestal, because if you're still in a grip of just busting nuts, especially doing it with your hand, you're subconsciously telling your brain that the woman, this stuff right here, still has the power over you. How can you feel strong within yourself? How can you feel strong and non-needy towards the opposite sex when this is all you're telling your brain? I'm in a grip of this, right? It's absolutely impossible. Now, guess what the most attractive trait is, right? Research has been done on this. It's non-neediness, not caring whatsoever, just being yourself and not being attached. Women have this radar, this internal radar, whenever they speak to a man, of how needy he is. The more needy the man is, the more unattractive he becomes, because on a biological basis, you're telling the woman you're a weak man. If you're very needy, you probably don't have many options and you don't have much going on whatsoever. This is the whole thought process behind that, right? It goes very deep. This is just one of the reasons you become more unattractive, but there are many, many more. Another one is that your social anxiety is going to be increasing, right? So you don't even feel the need to speak to women and even other people. And what you hear many times as well is that men struggle looking other people in the eye. And I hear a lot of men say that, and I was actually like, wow. Is that a thing? Is that actually a thing that you struggle to look people in the eye? And then I thought back about when I was doing this way too often. And I thought, yeah, that's true. I actually struggled to look people in the eye. And at this moment of time, I can no longer even imagine that's a thing. I truly had to think twice of like, is that a thing? Was that a thing back in the day? And I was like, yeah, it was. Wow, it's absolutely crazy. But there's so many more things, guys. Like when you hop on semen retention, I can absolutely promise you that you become a lot more attractive to women. It's not some type of magical stuff that out of nowhere you start to get older women. But I can promise you that once you hop on semen retention, women will look at you more. You will start to carry yourself differently. Why? Because at a point you become non-needy. If you're able to overcome this, if you're able to feel your self-control, if you're able to have that control over yourself, that you are truly the master of your own urges, of your own desire, you are in control of your own mind. You know, that's going to speak so loudly. The way you carry yourself is going to be completely different. If you're still doing the dirty deeds, and you do it with guilt, you do it very secretly, right? What's going to be happening is that subconsciously you're going to be bringing this with you throughout the day. And people can sense that, people can sense your energy. And this all happens subconsciously. So the next one, guys, all right, don't laugh too hard, but this is actually true. And this is what I've realized. What you're doing when you're busting too many nuts, no, not just when you have sex here and there, this is not as like, but we're talking about just several times a week, you use your hand, all of this stuff, right? What you're doing is you're castrating yourself. So I'm going to tell a little example. We have a bull and we have an ox, right? Now, what is the difference between the bull and the ox? First of all, the ox is a bull, but he's castrated. He doesn't have balls anymore. Now, what's the difference in their behavior? The bull, right? He's the big alpha male, right? He just wants to dominate. He wants to take action. He wants to like have sex with all the other cows, everything, right? People cannot tame him. People cannot tame a bull because he's too aggressive and he goes after what he wants. But if you just cut off his balls, he becomes an ox and he's perfect for farming. You can tame him very well, right? He's very well behaved. He does everything everyone else says, right? He follows the rules very nicely. So, of course, guys, I'm not talking about you should be, oh, look at me, the alpha male, and you should be aggressive and all of this. But this is what will happen when you start to retain your sexual energy. You naturally just become, like your masculine energy is increasing, so you naturally just do what you want to do. You don't just listen to other people, you do your own thing. And if you're constantly just busting all these freaking nuts, of course, it's like you become a freaking castrated man. A very easily controllable man that's not able to stand up for himself and push forward in life. That's very easily manipulated and controllable. Guess why all this sexual content is online, guys? Of course, it's so easily accessible because it makes men weak. It makes men fall asleep to the strength that is within themselves. So that is something truly important to understand. So the next thing that's going to be happening is that you become spiritually numb. I've talked about this many times, guys, but your sexual energy is also your spiritual energy. Indian sages, a lot of spiritual teachers, especially in India, use their sexual energy to get closer to God. And I've experienced this firsthand as well, guys. When I retain my sexual energy, I feel so much more connected and so much closer to a higher thing, to a higher power that is actually within myself. I feel so much more connected to all of that. And when you're just constantly throwing it away, you become spiritually numb and you feel apathy and you feel guilt because there's nothing out there helping you. You just feel extremely disconnected from God. And this is how you build a spiritually numb society. Just give everyone sexual content and tell them you should just bust as many nuts as you want, and here you go. You create a spiritually numb and weak society of a bunch of weak men that cannot control themselves. Sounds pretty good for the people on top, right? No competition. So the next one, guys, is going to be a decrease in self-expression. A lot of men don't even know what it's like to truly express themselves, let alone just feel the power within themselves to have the balls to express themselves and say certain things that not everyone maybe agrees with, right? But this will naturally happen because, as Napoleon Hill said, your sexual energy is your creative energy, right? And I've noticed this for myself as well. When I retain my sexual energy, I have no other way than to transmute it into authentic, and I just have to express myself. There's no other way. If I don't do this, my balls will explode, right? Because I'm no longer transmuting the energy. That is obviously why sexual transmutation is truly important. But guess what? If you're busting all these freaking nuts, You don't have that ability to express yourself to this degree. You don't have the ability to go out in the world, push it outwards, right? You simply don't have the energy, the spiritual energy, the mental clarity, and the authenticity and the balls and the courage itself to express yourself like that. So once again, when you're constantly just releasing and releasing and releasing, you're not able to express yourself properly, you will stay small and you will play live in a small way. Just hide yourself from everyone, play it on safe, don't do too much, don't take too many risks, don't just play it on safe, right? Don't do anything crazy, don't do anything that might upset someone else. Right? To get back to the bull and the ox of castrating yourself. That again is exactly what's going to be happening, guys. So these are just some things, and I truly hope like this just makes you aware of what you're doing when you're constantly doing this, or maybe all the things you're missing out on. Because guys, retaining your sexual energy as a man is truly powerful. Like, sure, if you're in a relationship, right, find a way around it. Maybe you want to cycle it, all of that. But I am convinced that if you are single and you're not into hookups anymore, you've outgrown that phase, there's no better way to retain your sexual energy. It's truly powerful, and you're able to truly transmute all this power to a lot of beautiful things. And what I've heard, I don't know who said this, but there are two ways a man can be most powerful, right? The first one is by retaining his sexual energy and transmuting it into something else. But a man can even become more powerful when he's actually finding the right woman that actually helps him move forward, right? It can be extremely powerful. But if you're still single, retaining your sexual energy, just once again, there's no better way to do it. Like, why would you bust nuts? There's no point in this. If you need some extra help with this, I do have a few coaching spots available, so you can book a free call in the description link. Also, you can download my free guides, your free guides, right, on how to reach your first 30 days of semen retention completely free. You can check it out as well in the link in the description. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.